Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the place to be. I'm your host, Adam Mill. To right left from me is.
You done.
On visual.
Jammer one.
All right, what we saying now?
I said on a scale, okay, on your scare level, right? 1 through 10, how scary was the movie Sinners to you?
I don't think it was meant to be scary, honestly. I think it was just more of a thriller.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even put it in the horror category, honestly, because I mean, yeah, I guess it is a horror, but I don't think it was meant to scare anybody. It was more so making a statement. See, the thing is, what a lot of people don't get is when it comes to blues, and a lot of those old blues singers, a lot of them had like folk tales that they used to tell about how they started playing the blues. Like Howlin' Wolf, the devil tunes his guitar and he's been howling at the moon ever since. So
Yeah.
that whole movie pretty much stemmed from that,
Mm.
basically, in a nutshell. I think they just expanded on those old folk tales that these blues players used to talk about when they were young back in the early 1900s.
Mm.
Yeah.
Charlie Johnson or something. Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. Who went to the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil,
Yeah.
and suddenly he was the greatest guitar player ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everybody at our job was saying that it was so disturbing and scary. You gotta breathe in and out. And I was watching the movie. I'm like, where in this movie's that aspect like you're gonna pass out, scary,
Most scary.
you're gonna piss your pants and stuff like that. It was like one moment that maybe jumped a little bit. That's why when the guy got bit in the arm, it was like one little moment. But other than that, it was like,
The most scariest
Yeah.
movie I ever had the displeasure watching was Insidious.
Mm.
Insidious.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's interesting.
the first
For me,
one.
it was The Exorcist.
Oh,
Mm.
Lord.
The Exorcist scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. What was the other one? Cause they say that's in Maryland somewhere.
Blair Witch.
The house. No, not Blair Witch. What is that? This the haunted house. Is in Maryland. I can't think of it right now. God, doggone it, not the Shining. They said the house was haunted. Uh,
The house from what?
I think
Exorcist?
Amityville Horror.
Amityville. Okay.
Amityville. Yeah, that one. Amityville. How you pronounce it?
Um,
And
Bella,
no, Annie. He said it right. Jammer One said it right.
Andyville.
Annie,
Amityville.
Annie. Yeah, what he said. I can't pronounce it right. That movie spooked me out back in the day. But Insidious, that movie is like, man, I'm not really trying to go to sleep after this. Especially that thing that
Woo.
looked like that thing from Star Wars.
On the
Yeah.
the little creature or that song they used to hate the tip
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah. That
yeah,
song. Yeah.
yeah, but it was a great movie.
It took a while for me to get that out of my brain, man. I don't want to. Let's skip subjects. uh, all right. You said the score,
Yeah, I said the score.
and
Because
I said that you started some controversy, man. Now you're gonna make
I
me go
felt
back and
as
listen to
though
it.
I felt as though it was better albums that came out in '96. Like you got Onyx. All We Got Is Us album was hard.
I
Then you
remember
had
that.
Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z.
I
All of
remember
these
that.
incredible albums that people overlooked. You
Who
know,
got album of the year that year?
it was probably the Fugees, but I'm not sure.
If they did, it's probably from that commercial pill,
Yeah, yeah.
killing me softly.
Hill to be a female MC that also had beauty as well as could be able to sing at the same time.
Can we respect her as an MC, knowing that her first album she didn't even write it?
Dang.
That's not even a rap album. That's an R&B album, man. I don't know why people be putting that into the rap category.
A lot. Some folk have said that
R&B
too.
album. It got one rap song and one and like two verses on a couple other songs.
Mm.
Do I had a verse, and it was another song on there. I forget the name of it. It had a verse on there too. And then of course you had you just lost one, but you really lost ones. Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
was rapping on that one though, was she? I can't remember the
Yeah,
album.
she rapped on that. She
Okay,
rapped
okay,
on Lost Ones.
okay.
That's really the only song that she rapped on, except for like I said, she put verses on a couple of the other songs, but overall it was an R&B album.
Mm. But it got cattled. It got it won what rap album of the year, something like that, or something like that. It was in the rap category, right?
She won some Grammys off that album. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Why would they put it in? I don't know. I don't know why they categorize it as because she categorized it as a rapper. So
Rapper.
maybe that's why they categorize it as a rap album.
And she never followed back up with a sophomore project.
Nope.
I think that'd be another topic for another time. Who's the greatest female MC of all time?
Because you know they automatically
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
automatically lose by the way they talk.
Yeah. Gov, what's the album that you can do without? And what artist?
I could do without artists. Yeah. That's a tricky one. Cause I don't know. I don't know if I would go through. I was going through looking at Scarface albums. See, and I'm a big fan of his. So probably out of them, maybe Emeritus, because I didn't get that deep into that one. That's the only
Yeah.
that's the only reason. But I generally like his catalog. But out of that one, I could do without that one.
What's the name of it again?
Just-
Okay.
That's one of the later ones. But earlier Scarface, I could keep all of them in there.
He's one of them artists that can't miss for me, though.
Right.
Seriously, he just can't miss. I'm not very I don't have too much knowledge of his catalog, but the albums that Mr. Scarface, stuff like that, he just can't miss, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
Jadakiss with a verse.
he's too good. One of my favorites by him is Money and the Power.
Yeah. 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 Honey.
Yeah, he just too dope. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Go, you could have picked a better one than him, man. I mean, you could have picked I don't know, Method Man or somebody. You know.
Oh, yeah.
The Cow.
Right, right. I ain't
The
stuck.
Cow was hard.
Yeah.
I don't
I ain't
know
like
about
it.
the album. I didn't really listen to the full album, but I did like Takao.
Takao didn't grow too good on me, man. It didn't age well, in my opinion. It didn't. I went back and I listened to it. I said, "What the hell?" Seriously, I was like, "Yo, this where we was at this day and time when I was in high school. This was jumping off. I mean, nah.
hmm
I respect Meth as a MC, but that project, when I go back to it, maybe sonically and it sounded like he done it in his basement. And Richard said, "Guess what? We're not gonna we're not gonna tighten this up. We're just gonna send it out as it is." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only song I really can go back to is what is that? When I first stepped on the scene, ninjas were petrified. Jet back to the lab like they was being chased by homicide. And that's the name of the chorus. See, I can't even remember the damn song.
That was on
Type of
Takao.
song.
I
That
thought
was
that
on the
was on.
cow.
Oh, okay.
And Meth vs. Chef. Was that on? That's the
Yeah,
only thing I could remember.
I forgot about that.
And I believe that Old Dirty album was better than that.
No, Old Dirty album was hard. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite Wu-Tang albums.
Yeah, Old Dirty album was better than that. I think besides Inspector Deck and Capadonna, Meth got to be the third worst solo uh album made from a Wu-Tang member.
He did good by joining forces with Redman, I think.
Yeah. That actually
That
helped
was a
him
good
out.
move for him.
Big time.
Quan what artist and what album that you can do without?
I could really do out Biggie's like After Death album.
Oh, you tripping, bro.
No,
Did you hear what he said, fellas?
Life at the death.
Yeah, I heard him.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't debate that either. I could understand that.
How?
Cause I was mad that they gave it 5 mics. I said, man, they only gave
What?
it 5 mics because he died.
Yeah.
I said, come on, man.
Because I like the first album more than that one.
The first album was better, right?
No.
10 times more bigger.
No.
First one better.
No.
Why?
Only song that I can say that can compete with Life After Death from Ready to Die is a few Me and My Yeah.
Wow.
What else? The song with him and Method Man.
And Warning.
And Morning, yeah. And what's that one? I'm sorry. Y'all gonna call me corny.
That
Juicy,
Lucy was all right. That was cool.
you know. But nowhere in the world is it better than Life After Death, bro.
You know why I say it's better because it's conceptually better. I like conceptual albums. So yeah.
I mean, wouldn't Ready
Yeah,
to
the
Die the same
concept is
thing
hard.
though?
Even the opening track,
That's what
where he's like, I don't want to go to heaven with all the goodies. Send me, cause I don't know, I don't really want to say
Black
it, but y'all
Tims
know
and
what
black
he said.
hoodies and
Like the opening track was just hard. The intro, the opening, yo, Ready to Die was fire.
in West Coast with that intro because you could hear little bits of the Chronic and all that was playing in there and all of that.
it's heavily influenced by the West Coast. It's heavily influenced by Dr. Dre Chronic album. You can see it. I mean, call him Puff Daddy, pause. Sean Combs at the time, he stole a lot of his influences from the West Coast. They were trying to make a West Coast version of the Chronic.
Truthfully,
I
I
mean,
like
East Coast version of the Chronic.
I liked West Coast rap more than I liked East Coast rap.
Oh man, he on one a day, man.
I did.
He
Yo,
on one a day,
West Coast in the '90s was a beast.
Because
And I
Okay, in
know
the 90s. In the
being
90s,
from
yeah,
the
okay,
East
yeah.
Coast,
You can make an argument.
it's an unpopular opinion coming from the East Coast and everything, but West Coast in the '90s was fire.
But
The underground and commercially, they
every
was
West
fire.
Coast album you put up, I can put up an East Coast album that was better.
Yeah, but the
or rival it.
problem with a lot of the East Coast rappers, a lot of the East Coast albums back then, there wasn't a lot of variety when it came to the beats. But West Coast, they did. They not only was variety in beats, but even in flows. You know, you got like people like E40 and all of them, and they was just changing constant.
Yeah.
E40 was trash, bro.
E40 was good. You got to
I
get
didn't
It was
like
trash.
E40 either. I didn't care for E40.
nice one.
But,
What a nice
but
one.
when you get down into the underground, like the hieroglyphics, the hobo junctions, the far side, all of them, and then they had like a crazy underground battle scene with guys like, I don't know, I can't really think of their names off the top, but you had like Freestyle Fellowship and all of those guys. They was really moving things forward on the West Coast. They was raising the bar over there. If you paid attention back then, you would know. East Coast was kind of safe. East Coast was safe. You know, it was a lot of street rap happening on the East Coast, drug dealing rap on the East Coast.
Yeah,
But the West Coast, they was really going hard, yo, because they had something to prove.
But the East Coast had that you know what I'm saying, that Timberland book bag, backpack, 40 belows on, snow up to your ankle rap.
Right.
That I could relate to. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. In the summertime, I listen to a lot of West Coast.
Yeah.
And when it got cold, it was Jizza, you know, what's that joint he came out with? What's it? What was the name of his first album? Can't think of it. Winter Warriors, the Jizza's first album, Liquid Swords. Was it?
Hmm.
It was Liquid Swords,
Yeah,
right?
that's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. So Mob Deep, Infamous. I couldn't rock the Chronic in the wintertime
Mm.
because my mindset went there. You know what I'm
I
saying? I
can
had to
dig it.
have boom bap, East Coast, snow falling on the ground, get dark at 5 o'clock at night. All the goons come out. It's not safe to come outside. I can't be rocking the Chronic during that time, bro.
I feel you, cause when Onyx dropped All We Got Is Us, I was walking to work. That was around the time of the 1996 blizzard when we
Yeah.
got like 3 feet of snow, and I was feeling that album, walking through that snow, trotting through that snow.
All
But
we
even
got
still,
is us.
yeah, it just hit. It hit. You know, that East Coast, it was cold, it was urban. Yeah. But the West Coast, it had so much variety. You had pimp rappers on the West Coast. East Coast don't have pimp rappers like Sugar Free and Drew Down. You know what I mean? They was just
Sugar
on some
Free
other
dope. He's
stuff on the West
hilarious.
Coast.
He's
Huh?
hilarious, but he dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It was like that's what was kind of missing, like the variety when it comes to this personality, being able to put that personality in it. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I can see that. I can see that.
almost got into a fight with two guys. They were clowning me because I was listening to the Far Side. I was living in New Jersey. They
Uh-huh.
were clowning me because I was listening to the Far Side, and the song Your Mama came on. And they
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is corny. They were showing off in front of the girls.
I bought that tape. I bought that
Yo,
tape, bro.
I was
You know
like,
what's
y'all
funny?
dumb.
You know what's funny?
What?
I thought it was from the East Coast.
Yeah, they sounded like it, and then you was like, what? They from the West Coast? They actually got me into West Coast rap. It was the Far Side. That
Oh,
after
okay.
them, I started looking into the West Coast to see what else they had over there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Your mama, your mama, your mama. We had to roll on the back to get some burgers from Wendy's or something like that. He said, that's crazy.
Yeah, because at first we thought it was all gangster rap, like Compton's Most Wanted,
Yeah.
DJ Quick, Course NWA. You know, that's
Mhm.
what we thought it was at first, but they had a whole lot of other stuff going on over there.
Who thought Bone was from the West Coast? I did when they first came out.
That's probably because Easy E.
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea. I didn't know where they were from.
Yeah, they from Ohio or something like that. Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't believe y'all said that Biggie. I can't believe y'all said Biggie first album is better than the second album. This is why I give the case where Life After Death is better than um Ready to Die. You see the growth on there. You see better production, more movie type of feel, like like a theater almost. Um,
Hmm.
his storytelling has advanced during that time. Um, it was just all around sonically, lyrically better.
So you think it deserved the 5 mics?
Yes. And not because he kicked the bucket. I think if he was alive, he would have still got it. Because he was just at the top of his he was the man in hip hop at the time. From a
Man, he
commercial
was.
appeal standpoint and from an underground, he done what Kendrick Lamar is doing today. He done it. He's one of the forefathers of that. He's one of the guys, in my opinion, that seen success on a commercial level and the underground level, and he was respected in both worlds.
Fully.
Biggie.
Yep.
He was respected in both worlds.
Mm.
Jay-Z tried it, but he went astray and he went too far gone when you listen to Carter 3, right? You can tell
Right.
that this guy's like, he's out of here, and we don't know if the streets gonna love him again. And the only thing that really kept Jay kind of relevant that he was still talking drug talk. But if you pay attention to Jay-Z's career, he always talk about the point of his life where he's at now. His last album was talking about infidelity. The one before that was talking about paintings. You get what I'm saying? So Jay always has a reflection of his life and the level he's at now. Not to drift too far off topic, the Biggie was one, and I'm gonna go on a limb and say he was more respected in my eyes than the Kendrick Lamar, because Kendrick, to me, that last album did not have the respect of the underground world.
Yeah, he did a local album.
You get what I'm saying? It did not have the respect of the underground world. With Biggie, Life After Death had the respect of the commercial people that didn't know anything about the underground, just the casual commercial radio play listeners loved the album, and the guys who really, really, really got busy on the mic respected it and loved it. And Biggie, to me, accomplished both feats. And this is why Ready to Die is better than, Life After Death is better than Ready to Die, in my opinion.
Okay. I can dig it.
Yep. So I have Finding Forever. You have the score, which is that's crazy, man. You're gonna make me go back and listen to that. Gov have I forgot what you have, Gov, from Scarface.
Heritage.
Yeah, you shouldn't have picked nothing from his catalog. You should have left Scarface alone. And you had Life After Death because you're a Pac fan and you just hate on Biggie. Any chance you get?
I'll say most of the pop albums after he died just felt like he was rushed. It didn't really.
I'm gonna tell you, Pac half of his catalog can get chopped in half. Real talk. You can't say that about Wu-Tang, bro.
Anything after the Wu-Tang's first album, we can say that. Now, see, look, for the longest time, I was being nice. I wasn't trying to disrespect the Wu-Tang, but anything their album can automatically be cut off. Anything other than Cuban Links can be cut off. That's it. We're gonna be honest now, right?
This man,
we're gonna be honest. Anything after Wu-Tang's first album,
what'd you say, guys?
Them Ghostface albums were hard.
Right.
I'm sorry. Ghostface?
Don't say
Hold on, what you say? Gav got something to say.
I mean, one of the Ghostface songs appeared on the wrestling game, so I mean that says enough already. But I'm just,
Are we talking about Wu-Tang as a group, or are we just talking about individual members?
Yes, group as an individual, everything. Yes, anything after that, their first album, and Cuban Links, I think you were trying to chase that same success. That's it. My opinion, you make me hate it, right? And I'll be honest, I'll say the same thing with Tupac, right? But Tupac didn't have enough. I mean, Tupac is, in my opinion, even though I'm a big fan, he's one-dimensional. So I feel like he would have probably not really branched out like other artists like Biggie. If they were still alive, he probably would have kept the same direction, even though he was more versatile in his song ideas and more commercial, and he had a lot more ideas coming in. I feel like as far as his flow and how he raps, would kind of stay the same. But anything after really Cuban Links in that first album, Enter the 48 Chambers or something like that.
Yeah, it was Enter the
Yeah, I mean, look, it's done for. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Look, I'm just saying.
36 chambers, bro.
Yeah, 36. I'm just saying that I'm not. It's just not really off of okay. I'm a Pac fan thing. It's just really. I feel like that album. Biggie was trying to please a specific fan base of his, specific listeners. You know what I mean? And I feel like with Puff or the people that was behind his production in their first album, they were trying to get global ears, people that were going to listen to his ears. Still to this day, name one song on Life After Death you hear playing in commercials, playing in stores, playing in movies, playing any other thing. You can't name one. You can't name one song after Life After Death. He says it's respected in the underground and just for your average listener. Name one song, Life After Death, that's played in movies, commercials, stores, anywhere in the last 20 years.
I'm not a movie buff. I'm not a movie buff, so I can't make that. I can't make that.
It could be.
I can't make that.
Now I can name you 3 songs.
Man,
First Ready to Die album that's been played in movies, commercials, stores, YouTube channels, intros, everything, remix, sample. You can't name me one song in Life After Death. At least by your average listener that's been sampled, remixed, or anything.
I can't answer the question.
Crack Commandments.
That's from the first album.
I mean, yeah, but
ain't that from the first album?
No, that's on.
That's on the second.
Yeah, it's on Life After Death.
Oh, okay.
I think Benny the Butcher remade that too.
Right. What wasn't Hypnotized on there?
Hypnotized in every movie, just about. Yeah, Hypnotized on Life After Death. Pops, what is it? Pop sicker than your average, something like that.
Yeah,
Twist.
that one's.
Yeah, it's on Life After Death.
you guys are Life After Death.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question real quick, because I know we run out of time.
Man, actually, Cali was all right going.
What artists, if they were still alive, would have had more longevity out of Pac and Biggie? Which one? Who would have been still relevant today?
I'm gonna say Tupac.
Yeah.
Easily, because Tupac could act.
But Biggie was dope with the commercials, man. I mean,
and with the pen, I think Biggie would still be around because he would still be writing a lot of the songs that'd be out now.
That's true. That's true. Especially like R&B hits.
Yep. I would not be surprised. Biggie probably still be that dude. He'd be the songwriter behind a lot of the hits right now.
But who would have lost that flair? I mean, by now, who would have been sick of hearing like, all right, man, it's time to give up the mic. You know what I'm saying? Which one would it be? Think Pac?
I can't say that. And the reason why,
Thanks, girl. Thanks, girl. Thanks, girl.
And you see the reason why I can't say that.
Appreciate
right?
you, girl.
See the reason why I can't say that, right? And here's why I can't say that, right? And here's why I got to disagree with you now, right? Think of today's climate in music, and think of every artist you see right now in the modern day sense. We can talk about commercially and everything, right? I feel like Biggie would have been appearing on like songs like Dreamville or J. Cole or even Kendrick for that fact, right? You know what I mean? More of that lyrical sense, more of the backpack rap, right? But Tupac was more of global. You can even ask any young 16-year-old Joe rapper, you can even ask anyone from 10 years ago.
Pac wouldn't fit in drill, yo.
No, he wouldn't fit in drill, but a lot. Okay, think of like what's a old school rapper I can really think of, right? Think of like, I don't say 50 Cent, right? Every other artist you think, even Kendrick has had 50 Cent on their song, right? And 50 Cent was just being washed away during the time Kendrick was coming up. So Tupac would have definitely as more popular than what 50 Cent was. He would have been on Future on a lot of songs just because of his style and that gangster's personality. He had that thug life gangster type, persona about him. And a lot of artists and rappers these days have that gangster persona, have that thug persona. So he would have appeared or not have been in that scene. He would have been in those videos. He would have been hanging around that type of crowd.
Real quick.
So Biggie, he wouldn't really be around that crowd. Now, he was about that, but he wouldn't be in that crowd as far as that. I feel like he would have matured more to be like on a J. Cole album.
No, not even that. Can I counter that? He would have done a lot of songs with Ross. He would have done a lot of songs with Jeezy. He would have flooded the South for sure. Because remember, he was one of the first rappers that did something with Bone. Yep. And that joint was successful.
Biggie.
Say it again, girl. I can't hear you.
Love Tupac, man.
Bone and Biggie. I remember that joint with Bone.
Yeah. He would have flooded. He would have flooded. All right, when you look at what Rick Ross was able to achieve, right? With that melody and that type of beat and that vibe. It wouldn't have been no Rick Ross, because that would have been all Biggie right there.
Easily. Because Rick Ross was even benefiting off the whole look.
Exactly.
I don't think so, man. Yeah. I think if Biggie would have lived, he would have became a mogul. I think he would have took more of a 50 Cent kind of route. I don't think he would have stayed in rap that long. Tupac probably, but since Tupac was multifaceted, since he was also an actor, I think Tupac would have got deeper into movies, and I think he would still probably be putting out albums to this day. But I don't think Biggie's passion for rapping was really there. I think Big wanted, like, he probably liked money, and he would have became a mogul. That's what I think.
He would have took like the Jay-Z route.
Yeah.
So Pac,
Yep.
Pac would probably be more like Will Smith now. Then
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Well,
could see Tupac still dropping albums here and there, but he would have definitely gotten the movies and got some really big roles. Cause he was an incredible actor. Yo, Pac was crazy with it. All he had to do was find some good roles, and he would have been out of there.
yeah. What's that movie he
He would have been
played
an
in?
A-list.
Gridlock or something like that. He was good in that. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, he was dope in that. Jason's lyric, he was all right in that one too. You know.
I don't think he was in Jason's lyric.
Not Jason's lyric. What's the other one?
Poetic Justice. That's
Poetic
what you meant.
Justice. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was good in there.
He been dope in that, and I think he would have broke away from that urban type of theater. I think he would have been playing more important roles, like how Denzel Washington, like you said, Will
Yep.
Smith. He would have broken to that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And to be fair, we have seen over 20 years of recycled Tupac verses more than Biggie. Of course, he has more rhymes. He had more, put in the safe than Biggie. And his work ethics was more better than Big's, right? But we have seen over 20 years of a generation that's more fascinated and more more inspired by Tupac.
True. Because Tupac was bigger than the music. He was a whole persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think about, the dude. He was like a dancer for Digital Underground at first. You know what I mean? And then
Mm-hmm.
was able to keep going. Like that group was the group out there. Like he was just another guy. I remember the first time really seeing him. When was he had that verse on Same Song by them? I was like, who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just kept blowing up from that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been interesting, fellas, man. It was an interesting pod. We got under, some pot fan skin. Thank you, Gov. I appreciate you, man. He needed to hear that. He needed that wake up call.
Look, I already be knowing. I try to be humble, but hey, don't let me put my
He
opinion on
needed
there.
that wake up call.
Too much on here. That's it. There's a lot of old heads feelings I'm gonna hurt. If I really come on here and start saying albums and giving detailed reasons why I don't like these albums and pick them apart and really go deep into this, it's gonna be something to behold. It's gonna be something to see.
Jammer One.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the quotable from his generation. I'm gonna see if I can mimic.
He's so rap like that anymore. Even people that mumble rap don't mumble rap like that anymore. It's like 10 years ago. That's like 10 years ago.
That was the second golden age, though, man. That was golden era number 2, the 2010s.
Yeah. We had Kid and Play. They would rap and dance. You know what I'm saying? But at least we understood what they were saying. These guys, they just kick their leg and all right, man. Oh man, I'm your host Adam Mill. To right, left of me is
The governor.
On Bizzle.
And Jammer One.
And where can they find you at, Jammer One?
JAMMA star WUN on YouTube, and it's an underscore for the Instagram. Yeah. Jammer One.
And where can they find you at? Because
you can catch me on Instagram, Governor's Mansion, GUVNAMANSION.
And where can they find you, Quan Bizzle?
Nostalgia Music on all platforms.
And you can find Guess I've Said on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, fellas, it was a pleasure.
Sure.
And see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Share.